I can get in there. And of course, yeah, I'm going to lean over a hole for foam with top pocket because that's always the best. Morning all. It's a bit cooler than it has been on the rest of the trip. There's actually some condensation on the inside of the canopy, so I'll have to look at doing something about that once the diesel heater goes in. It should stop all that, but sun's almost ready to come up, and just walking over here for a tinkle, and found a chainsaw bar laying against the base of a tree. Rightio, final day. Departing the picturesque Menindee waterfront lodgings for the night. Head back out here onto the dirt and keep on going to Ivanhoe. Probably done about 20 k's out of Menindee last night, so probably 180 k's to Ivanhoe to go. So it's going to be the last bit of dirt, but in hindsight, it's the longest stretch of dirt if you don't count going to Cameron's Corner and coming back, so should be good. White dust, white bull dust, and hard packed clay. But yeah, I've got the coffee. Let's hit the road. Here we go on the final day. Done a quick check over the ute ahead of the corrugations I'm expecting to see on this section of the road. No brekkie as usual, but as the sun continues to rise, we're going to keep on heading south towards Ivanhoe and on to home. The first section of the road was surprisingly good, so I'm hoping the rest of the track back to Ivanhoe is just as good. Some clear sailing, back to the hard stuff. Back to tar. about halfway between Menindee and Ivanhoe now. Still a lot of these just flats. Well, I've joined the railway line here. Crossed it earlier, now it's back running along parallel to the road. There's been some good bits and some shit bits. It's mainly all the high bits are compacted clay. It's obviously been wet and gone hard, but then all the little bits, all your sand and dust and that, as soon as it rains, it all flows down. So in the dips, it's just corrugated sand where it's collected. And you'll be driving along, and all of a sudden there'll be just a hole in the clay where it's just a sand pit or bull dust. So it's I'm only averaging about 75k an hour putting along in fourth gear because not so much from the corrugations or the roughness, but just needing to stop or avoid stuff like that. That whole middle section was bull dust, and you can see it's all raised in a different colour, but 90% of it's been just heading off into the table drain and bypassing the whole lot. Then you get bits here like this, it's almost like road basins down. Yeah. Just waiting to get to the next patch of trees, so I got some shade, and I'll get out of pyjamas again. The more appropriate attire before we get into town. But yeah, for the last bit of dirt on the trip, it's definitely throwing up some little challenges anyway. Like here, look at this next section here in front of me now. It's just, I'll go this on the road. Look. You can see the shit coming like that. Look. But it's hard too because it's all the same colour. It was like heading across to Cameron Corner a couple of days ago. Your eyes can't adjust to the differences, to the corrugations, to the holes, to the even the drains or washes out through the road. A couple of times yesterday where you don't see them until you're on top of them, just because the colour red messes with your eyes, it seems. Get close to the railway line there now. There was a siding back there, I can't remember the name, it is on the map. But, I don't know how often that railway line's used. We'll see if we see a train while we're travelling out here. It is a weekday, but I wonder how much it is to put a ute on the back. Get a lift back to, I suppose go back to Wagga. Although you fall asleep, end up in bloody Sydney. Exactly where you don't want to be.
Driving through central New South Wales, it's just featureless. You come across a railway line, or a tank, or a windmill, and it's something different. It's something you haven't seen for a while, and you just want to stop and take a photo of it. The land's just so barren, so open, so flat. It makes you wonder how the early settlers farmed out here. Massive sheep stations that still run today cover thousands and thousands of acres. It just boggles the mind to think about it. After an hour, as I drew closer to Ivanhoe, we started getting the vegetation back, and it reminded me of early days working on local cattle stations. I took the opportunity to make another coffee, get out of my pyjamas, and get ready for the final push across the dirt to Ivanhoe.
About 30k out of Ivanhoe now. The road's got nice and wide. It seems to change from, I'll say paddock to paddock. Every time you head over a grid, the road seems to change, whether it gets wider, narrower, smoother, shitter. Just stop back there for a quick pee break, get out of my pyjamas, finally at 10 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, plenty to go roads, plenty of roos. You can see on the road and the sand and the bull dust where they've been camping for the night, laying down in that warm dirt from the night the day before. Not long now. Sort of running. I was only due to be back at Ivanhoe at 12 for lunch, but probably going to get back there by 9:30. So yeah, running 2.5 hours ahead of schedule, which is good. Probably get home about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, just in time for the kids to finish school, which will be good as well. But yeah. Still sort of poking along at the 80k mark when it's capable to do so. Get in the top gear and just send it. Had a brand new Subaru Forester going back the other way. A couple of old people driving it. Don't know if they're lost. It just still continues to amaze me. A couple of new 79 series this morning. There's new cars everywhere. Where normally out here you'd see older farm vehicles and whatever else, but I don't understand if you're paying. Well, you can go overseas for under 10 grand and have a good holiday, or you stay here and spend over 100,000 on a 200 series of a caravan, or you're probably 200,000. Go around Australia, go visit somewhere once and get sick of it and not want to do it again. This is the year of our blessed COVID, 2021. I can just see in the next 4 to 5 years there'll be a lot of second-hand, new stuff for sale. Caravans, camper trailers, vehicles that someone's spent thousands of dollars fit down. Floodlight. And yeah, they've probably only gone overseas and stayed in motels or whatever else and decided to go around the country and realised it's not their cup of tea, so get rid of it. We're going back to New York or London or wherever. It's funny, they got signs up here when you drop into some of this low country where obviously water's been over the road. Got the rough surface signs up, and for the most part, where they are, it's the best part of the road because where all the sand's collected in the dips, and you're away from this hard packed clay. We got here goats sleeping in the middle of the road. Come on. Funny, they're sleeping on the road. That car would have only come past 10-15 minutes ago, so they've got out of the way for that thing, brought back on the road. Yeah, anyway, we're not far from Ivanhoe, and we're at the end of the dirt, back on the hard stuff.
After 210 k's from Menindee, the dirt's over, and it's back on the tar to Ivanhoe.
more of a sign that we're starting to get back close to the Ivanhoe. When you got debris like that on the side of the road, something's been stolen and destroyed. Either that or an insurance job. Yeah. And that's it, just like that, we're back on the hard stuff. Menindee Road comes out about 5k north of Ivanhoe, so not quite back to Ivanhoe yet, but yeah. I think most of that road wasn't too bad. A couple of real bad sections in the middle there where you had to slow right down, but probably on par with the the White Cliffs to Tipperborough road as well. Going a couple of shitty bits in between. Some bits you can get into top gear and do your 90k an hour without any problems, and yeah, all the good stuff in between. So what we got time? 25 past 10. So going from Ivanhoe now, head back down to Hay, and then for something different, instead of dropping back to the Lilliput, we're going to go east and I think it's the Sturt Highway, go across to Narrandera and Darlington Point, and then head down through Lockhart, Walbundra and Howlong, back to home. So we'll keep on pushing south and see how we go. I thought I'd pull in here at the Ivanhoe railway station. I noticed on the way up some of the infrastructure still here from the steam days. The big water tank over there, and then the downpipe to refill the boilers. I noticed back at one of the sidings back there was a big tank as well, just still parts in place from the steam age. Even a little hand cart here. I'm opposite the correctional facility, so I'm not real keen on walking around with a camera in my hand just in case the cops turn up. But it's just amazing to see some of the old steam infrastructure still in place. It just like a lot of things, it costs more money to pull stuff down than just throw a fence around it and let nature take its course. But I'm sure one day I'll get pulled down for scrap, and yeah, a little bit more of the old steam heritage will be gone. A couple of hours later, One Tree Hotel over there, where we started the journey across the Hay Plains a couple of days ago. That one there, probably 160 k's from Ivanhoe and seen 2 cars, so even during the week she's pretty quiet out here. Both those were cars towing caravans, so it's not a very frequented road anyway. If you had trouble out here, you'd probably be sitting for a while. Lucky I've got a fridge full of food and drink to buy the time, but let's not ponder sticking out here. Let's keep on heading south. I'm going to deviate a little bit. Instead of heading from Hay south to the Lilliput, I'm going to go east to Narrandera, and home that way. It's pretty much the same distance either way I go, but at least this way it's something different. After the last 200 k's of the Hay Plains, seen nothing but flatness. This is something different. So 170 k's to Narrandera. We won't actually be going into there. The Sturt Highway comes out south of it, but yeah, we've got Darlington Point first, and then on to Narrandera. So we'll keep on trucking. Starting to get into a bit more of the agricultural area now. Farm out there growing some sort of vegetables. Don't start that shit down. Yeah. Looks like they're seeding. like the country we just come from, just except the trees are a bit bigger. Where, well, paddock's gone. It's as you get further south, the trees are getting bigger in the paddocks. Better water supply, better soil. Just pulled over on the side of the road, going to enact lunchtime. Well, lunchtime, it's 1:30, so we're a bit past lunch, but we're going to fire up the old oven. So plug that in now, get some power going. Get it there. One more travel pie left, so we'll throw him in. Shit's coming out the freezer. Shit's coming out the freezer everywhere. Problem gets a layer of ice on there, it just slides. Clean that stain off before it goes to the I've been pretty much booking it once we left Hay now to get home, because it's getting tiring just sitting doing nothing and driving. So get our oven in here. What we got? 4 and 20 traveller pie, Philly cheesesteak, recommended by a little old lady in the supermarket. She reckoned it was the best of them. The other one was just a traditional pie, and then there was cheese and bacon, which I don't mind. But we'll fire that up. It's pretty much frozen right through, so we'll probably give it 45 minutes, and yeah, keep on trucking down the world. 45 minutes should nearly get us to Narrandera, or at least Darlington Point anyway. So we'll head down there and wait for this to cook. Rightio, here we are, main interchange just south of Narrandera. Turn this oven off, cut the power. Oh yeah, it's nice. Good thing with these two, they because the hot plate's on the bottom, it crisps up the bottom of the pies and that really well. You don't get soggy reheated stuff like if you were using a microwave. I don't know, travel buddies, you've got a if you got the 2-level ones, they've got the grate in the middle, so I don't know how they'll go keeping stuff crispy, but get this out of the way. Keys. So Narrandera, we're about 170 k's from home now, so the final stretch. Bottle of Coke to go along with it. All the healthy food in there, I'm still eating unhealthy on the road. Well, it could have been worse. I could have pulled in the Caltex across the road there. I could have pulled in and got a hamburger or something even worse. So I'm going to put that back there, get back in and keep on motoring for home. Anything you get hot out of the oven, you always let it sit for a bit. I let it sit for about 10 minutes, especially because it's got the cheese in it. That stuff can be molten if it's hot enough, and it seems to be. Good. Just went past, there's a Murray cod hatchery and aquarium just outside town here. That's sadly it's only open on, or read on the website, it's only open on weekends. So I've never been able to come up and have a look, and I was going to call in, but the hour of the day being what it is, I wasn't going to have time to do it today anyway, but just went past and had the close sign on the billboard out the front, so even if I was earlier, I wouldn't have been able to go in there anyway, which is a shame, but yeah, it's weird. Look, if I'd stayed at Broken Hill last night and left from from there. I would have planned to leave at 6. I suppose I should be right about where I need to be anyway, because it's about an hour and 20 minutes to Menindee from Broken Hill, and then about 10-15 minutes out the other side, so I would have been coming through Menindee just after 7, 7:30 anyway, so I put the home address up on Google Maps when I got to Ivanhoe, even though for some reason it won't use this stretch of road between the Sturt here and Howlong, and it doesn't like using the stretch of road between Ivanhoe and Hay either. You type in the Google Maps Hay and Wilcannia, and it takes you all the way across here to Wagga, up to West Wyalong, Lincoln, and across that way 11 hours. I don't know why it deviates or redirects you around that way, but unexpected traveller coming up from Melbourne or something that was only running off their phone for map directions, it'd be a pain in the ass really. You wouldn't go that way, you'd either go down across the Mildura and up to Broken Hill that way, or you'd have to go up through to Dubbo and across the Barrier Highway to Wilcannia and back into Broken Hill that way, which is even worse. So, don't know why. I suppose it's that there is that dirt section that we went across between Wilcannia and Ivanhoe, but there's no reason why it shouldn't do the same thing from Ivanhoe to Hay, but anyway, it does. So, big bit of steak, you don't normally get them at pies. Still prefer to cheese and bacon, so I'm going to continue to enjoy this and keep on moving, and yeah, that's the cooking, and that's the Budget Adventure Show kitchen right there. Well, here we are, about 5k from home. Big trip, a lot of hours in the day, a lot of k's, but for the most part, Utes pulled through, handled the dirt stuff better than the tar. Really, in a lot of places, just with the shake in the front end, which is still there, it hasn't fallen out. So, happy, very happy. Fuel usage been sometimes up to 10 litres less than I've planned for, so that's good. So doing the 75, 80k an hour in 4th gear, just cruise along in the dirt, hasn't used a lot of fuel, so that's good. It's all going to go towards the planning for Cape York at the end of the year. Stop it. So, stoked. Normally, you go camping, you realise you forgot something, or needed something else. I don't think there's been a time where I've gone to cook, eat, do anything and realised something's been left at home. Overcated, yes, severely overcated. I could probably go down to the river for a week now and camp and use up all the food on board, but that's alright. Just being prepared, because a lot of places, that Ivanhoe Road, I only seen one car, seen one car between White Cliffs and Tibooburra on the dirt section anyway, so there's always a possibility you can get stuck somewhere, even something stupid like a flat tyre. Yes, I got the spare, but jack might not work, even though all that stuff got tested before I left. So stoked, glad to be home. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It's been a good trip. It's good country, a lot of flat country. Still don't understand why a lot of roads don't just go straight and they've got a curve from one side to another, because it gets annoying. You probably wipe 10, 20, 30 k's off of some of them outback roads by just going straight, but anyway, as I said, most of the time I've got fuel holes averaging at 13, down to 13.10 up to 13.9 litres per 100, so that's a really good sign. Not just for out there now, I know driving around home, if I stay on that 90, 93, 94k an hour mark and don't go over it, I should be right and use a bit less fuel. So yeah, fueled up in Broken Hill before I'd left and went out and done Silverton and everything, so I drove around all up there and then done the time home. Probably looking at about 9.5 hours for the day and 10 hours for the day and 938 k's, which will put us about just shy of 2,700 k's for the whole trip, so that's been good. Probably spent about $350 in fuel, so again, just that pre-trip prep, working out where the fuel's cheaper, where it's dearer, it just makes do. A lot of times only refueling after 400 or 500 k's, 2 tanks on board with 175 litres, so you should get 1,200-1,300 litres out of it at least, running those numbers, but just not relying on the transfer pump to be able to transfer fuel from one to the other, because it only pumps about 1 litre a minute, so it's going to be running for a while to transfer. So just working out all the little things. One thing I'll pack again, a little fold out toilet, just so you got something to sit on so you're not crouched down, because my knees aren't the best, and I thought they'd probably suffer the most from this trip, being cooped up in the car all day, but they've only been sore in the morning after those morning toilet breaks, so that's been good as well. But yeah, I'm going to pull into home and see the family, and yeah, there's a bus. I know that bus. I'll yeah, be back on the next adventure, wherever that shall be. Haven't really got anything planned yet. I'm going to go to Dartmouth in a couple of weeks fishing, so that won't be a 4B trip or a camping trip. That'll be a motel room trip. But yeah, until then, I'll see you on the open roads and enjoy the country.
As the sun sinks over the house to the end of the 5th day, it's good to be home. Nearly 2,800 k's up to Queensland and back, across some of the flattest barren country I've ever seen. But now comes the best part of the trip: unpacking, getting everything out of the fridge, and reminiscing about the trip you just had. But already planning the next one. Can't wait to get back out there again and experience a different part of Australia. So I hope you'll join me on the next episode of the Budget Adventure Show, where we head off and experience this wonderful country of ours.